and thank you for joining us for SBB Live. I am here today with Anthony Adaspi from Informed Choice.
Morning.
Choices. How are you doing this morning, Anthony?
I can't complain. Never pays to complain. How about yourself?
Pretty good. So a lot of things are going on right now with all of the chaos surrounding this pandemic. If I didn't get a chance to change my plan before open enrollment, do I have any new options now?
Great question. So it depends on your situation. And by that, I mean, it depends. Are you just getting Medicare? Are you just about to retire and lose your group benefits? Did you just lose your group benefits? Did you just move here to Florida? Over the last couple of weeks, we've had people that have fit into every category, and it just simply depends upon their certain situation. The way Medicare plans work is they all have these qualifying life event election codes. There's over 30 different ones in the state, throughout the country for Medicare for 2020. It just depends on your situation. So if you think you've missed your opportunity, if you've just moved here, if you're getting ready to at least evaluate your options and want to know if there's still something, I'm going to say you're probably not stuck. There's probably something that can happen, but we're the experts when it comes to that, and we're happy to try to find one of those opportunities if one still exists for you.
Fantastic. And say that I am turning 65 soon, and I don't want to go to Social Security to sign up for my Medicare benefits. Where can I go, or what can I do for that?
Good question. So you can't even go to Social Security if you wanted to now. They've locked the doors, put the padlock and chain rope on it. You can't get in there. The only thing you can do right now is utilize the website, which is ssa.gov, or calling them. And if you just Google Social Security Administration, there's an 800 number and an 877 number that'll pop up, and that one number leads to any of the representatives that are able to help you over the phone. Don't miss your window to sign up for Medicare. It could put you in a really tough position. Definitely sign up when you can, which is 3 months prior to your birthday month, the month of, and 3 months after. That's your initial enrollment period for Medicare. And if you're someone in that 7-month window, the easiest thing from talking to our clients is to go through the website, ssa.gov. If you're collecting Social Security, you can tap on the sign in, sign up button in the top right-hand corner. That'll actually lead you into your account. You can check on your benefits. If you've never been on there before, you don't have Social Security, you just scroll down. There's an image of 2 happy people, and it says Medicare enrollment. You click on that and just follow the prompts. And we've been told it usually takes about 10 business days, government business days, to get registered for Medicare, and then you'll start to receive your communications through your email and through the mail. Calling is not an issue. It's just there's very, very long wait times. They've diminished the amount of staff that they have through the Social Security Administration. So those that are able to take your call and help you with Medicare, we're being told people are waiting an hour and 45 minutes plus just for making those calls. But one of those 2 methods is how you would sign up for Medicare right now.
Perfect. And I'm sure they could call you as well, and you could help them through that process.
Correct. Yeah, we can walk someone through the process of how to go through the website. We can do screen sharing, so I can show you exactly what to click on and where to click. I can't personally do it myself. It's the service that we provide free of charge. It's nothing that we get paid to do. It's still just signing up for the government benefit. It's not the actual private insurance itself, but in order to get that, you have to have Medicare.
Great. And I know this is a hot topic as well. Say that I am still working. I'm turning 65. And I have insurance with my current employer. Do I have to leave that insurance and go to a Medicare plan, or how does that work?
Sure. So Medicare is going to be your primary insurance as long as you don't have credible insurance in this case. And so let me elaborate on that. If you're still working, if you plan to keep working, if you want to keep your group benefits, you can do so when you're eligible for Medicare and waive getting Medicare. You can keep that group benefit. You can continue to take advantage of it and work without obtaining any penalties. The day you decide to leave, you're going to retire, you're going to, you no longer at least want the coverage provided through your group insurance, your employer. At that point, you would then go apply for Medicare, and that could start right away. We have got a lot of clients that retire late. No one's retiring. It doesn't seem like anyone's retiring just at 65 anymore. So it doesn't matter your age and how far past 65, as long as you're working and the coverage you have is considered credible, which means it's equivalent to Medicare or better, you are not required to take Medicare at 65.
Perfect. And this is another very hot topic. When you're moving into a new community, or say I live here and my family's moving down, and my father needs to go into skilled nursing somewhere in Fort Myers or Southwest Florida, and the nursing home, or we should use the nursing community, is requiring them or asking them about going on the original Medicare. What does that mean? How do they do it, and why do they do it?
Sure. So hot button topic, controversial topic to talk to. So me looking at it from my point of view, from an insurance professional, from a standpoint of what's best for mom and dad if they were in that case. I'm going to call them facilities. A lot of people will get upset with me if I do that, but for the purpose of this talk, we'll call them facilities. If you move into a facility, or mom and dad move into one, they're going to push for you to be on original Medicare, which is just Parts A and Part B. If you have a supplemental plan, that's basically the same thing, so this doesn't apply to you. Really, it's those people that have a Medicare Advantage plan, also referred to as a Medicare Replacement Plan. Those are those HMOs and PPOs. Those individuals are usually the ones coached into getting on original Medicare. And it's mainly due to the fact that from the facility standpoint, coordinating your care, coordinating your parents' care, where can they go, how they bill everything is a lot easier, and it's a lot better managed under just Medicare. With the HMOs and PPOs, those are network-based plans. So if you're having specialists come to your residence, if you're seeing a physical therapist at your residence or in the facility, who's to say they're in the network or not? Whereas if you're just on original Medicare, 98+% of the country takes Medicare, meaning you can pretty much see anybody. So it does make the job of the facility a lot easier. Is it right for everyone? It depends on each person and their situation. I think someone is always better with insurance. Now, yes, that's from an insurance standpoint, but the downside is if I have just original Medicare and I have physical therapy or a specialist that comes to my room, I'm paying 20% of the cost of that visit, that appointment. On Medicare Advantage plans, they are controlled costs, so everything has a set copay. Whereas with Medicare, it's the usual and customary amount that is billed, and then I pay 20% of that. It could be a lot more, it could be less, but you just don't know. And so the Advantage plans do provide you that peace of mind, but I'll say everyone's situation is different. And it's something that if you find yourself in that situation, it's worth talking to an insurance expert about to really figure out what's best for you, for mom and dad, for your grandparents.
Perfect. And you mentioned the words Advantage plan, supplemental plan, traditional. Talk to me about the differences between the Advantage plan and the Medicare supplement plan.
Sure. So I like to relate the two of them to restaurants. People use phone providers. People use a bunch of different metaphors. I come from a food industry background, so for me it's easier with restaurants. Think of a supplement plan like a buffet. I pay one premium per month, or I pay one premium at the door, and for that I can go to and from the crab legs as much as I want, right? So I pay one premium to insurance company X, and for that, no deductibles, no co-pays, no referrals, there's no network. You can see anyone that takes Medicare. That's a supplement plan. Your insurance company you're paying is covering your out-of-pocket responsibility for one price, usually on a monthly basis. The Advantage plans, if the supplement is a buffet, the Advantage plans are a traditional restaurant. Costs me little to nothing to sit in that booth. I only pay when I order off the menu. That's how the Advantage plans work. Most of them are little to $0 per month. And for that, I only pay when I use it. It doesn't cost me a penny to have it in my pocket, but I do have co-pays and co-insurance if I see a doctor, get an x-ray, end up in the hospital. So it's really paying as you go versus paying up front. Networks versus no networks, referrals, no referrals. They're ultimately covering you for your healthcare needs. They're just taking two different routes to get there. Is one better than the other? I'm a strong believer with Medicare. There's not a one size fits most. It really depends on the person, their finances, their travel, their health history. There's so many factors that go into it. It's not just, more people sign up for this, so you should sign up for it. There's a lot more to go through between the two. And one of the main things people look at specifically is the drug coverage aspect. The Advantage plans build drug coverage in, most of them. The supplement plans, I got to spend extra money to buy a prescription drug plan. So if you find yourself torn between which is better, that's something we should have a conversation about to really figure out what's best for you and your needs.
Yeah, and you just hit on something that I think is really important. After doing so many of the small SBB universities with you and your team, talk to us about really understanding why you do need to have a drug plan, whether you take any prescription pills or not. Because I know you've got some horror stories in your back pocket about people that didn't think they needed it.
Yeah, really it falls into, in my opinion, two reasons why someone would pick drug coverage up. The first one I think is pretty obvious for most people, which is the what ifs. What if, yes, you're not taking any medications, but midway through the year you have a health shift, and all of a sudden you need a brand name medication that retails for $1,000. Well, without a prescription drug company helping lower the cost, that's going to cost you $1,000, and it's going to every single time you need to fill your medication. So really we buy insurance for the what ifs, and that's one of the reasons why you buy a drug plan. To me, the sneaky reason that's hidden in a 136-page book that the government sends out once a year to everybody with Medicare is there's a penalty if you don't take prescription drug coverage. If you don't have credible drug coverage, the government penalizes you for every single month you were eligible but did not sign up for one. I'll give you one quick horror story. I work with a lot of people out in Clewiston that used to work at the sugar cane factories out there. No one told them they had to sign up for a drug plan. A lot of them weren't taking any medications. Well, flash forward to when we go out there and we meet with these people to try to help them get into plans. There's people that will never sign up for a drug plan because they're paying an extra $47, for example, per month for a drug plan, and they can't afford a $13 to $20 premium in the first place. So the penalty is 1% of the national average times the amount of months you should have had a plan that didn't. It's a giant statistical mathematical equation as to figuring out how much you owe. But ultimately, to avoid penalties and to make sure you have coverage for the what ifs, you want to make sure you have drug coverage. And
correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that penalty for life?
It is. It's for life as long as you have drug coverage. Because if you sign up for a plan right now for the rest of this year and you had a penalty, it'll be built in every month. But if at the end of this year going into next, you decide to drop that drug coverage, you don't have a penalty because there's no drug coverage to tack it onto. But now all of a sudden your penalty is adding up and it's getting larger and larger. So it's a double-edged sword where if you don't take it now, you're going to get hit in the future. And if you do take it now, you're potentially paying for something that you're not using.
I just feel like it's so important for people that are just turning 65 and don't take any medications to realize the implications of not taking advantage of a very low cost drug plan that could save them a lot of money at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, you have 27 different drug plans in the state of Florida for 2020. That's just factual off of Medicare.gov. So it's not me as an insurance agent telling you that. You can go to Medicare.gov and check it yourself. They're as cheap as $13.20. $13.20 a month to avoid a pretty sizable penalty years from now, and also to make sure you have some coverage just in case you need something. It's worth it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and going over all of this. I know that this is just a little glimmer of what the knowledge that you possess. So I'm going to make sure everybody has your contact information after we're finished with our live today. And I just want to thank you again so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. If anyone has questions or they just need assistance getting signed up for Medicare or evaluating their plans, I'd love to help.
Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate it so much. Take care.
You as well. Thanks.